Good morning, students. It is class 9, chapter motion and lecture 2. Today we will discuss the point mass first. So we try to concentrate ourselves on the point mass. An object can be considered the point mass object if during motion in a given time it covers a distance much greater than its own size. Now once again, an object can be considered point mass object if during motion in a given time it covers a distance much greater than its own size. Just suppose that if you are going from Patna to Delhi, now just consider what is the distance between Patna and Delhi. It is more than 1000 kilometers, and what is the length of the bus? It is a few meters. So when you will consider or when you will compare the distance traveled by you and size of the bus, the size of the bus will be negligible. So in such cases you may say that the bus is a particle or bus is a point mass. Now just try to consider the size of the object must be negligible as compared to the distance traveled by it. Then the size of the object or the mass on which you are considering it will be known as the point mass. Now we will discuss about the one-dimensional motion. Students, you have already done some work on the graph paper, and just usually on the graph paper you draw the axes like x and y. Both the axes x and y are perpendicular to each other. Now we will try to draw the third axis, that is called z. Now z is the third axis, and this third axis is also mutually perpendicular on the x axis and the y axis, and it is like that either it will be into the page or outside the page. It will be into the page or outside the page in such cases. So if a particle is moving only towards the x-axis, only towards the y-axis, or only towards the z-axis, or you can say the particle is moving only on x-axis, or only on y-axis, or only on z-axis, in such cases you may say that the body is moving in one dimension, I mean in one direction. Now we will consider the scalar quantity. All the physical quantity what we use in physics are classified under the two headings. One is called a scalar quantity and another is called the vector quantity. One is called a scalar quantity and another is called the vector quantity. What is a scalar quantity? The physical quantity which have only the magnitude but no direction are called the scalar quantity. Those physical quantity which have only the magnitude, no direction, then such type of quantities are known as a scalar quantity, like distance, speed. Distance, if you say that the speed of 5 meters per second, then it is the speed. It is only the magnitude. It has no direction at all, and hence it is known as the speed. A vector quantity. What are the vector quantities? The physical quantity which have the magnitude as well as direction are known as the vector quantities, as for example velocity and the force. The velocity has well-defined magnitude as well as its direction. Velocity has well-defined magnitude as well as its direction. So it is a vector quantity. A force has a well-defined magnitude as well as its direction is also known as the vector quantity. Now we will discuss the distance. Distance or the path length. The distance of an object in motion in a given time is the length of the actual path traveled by the object in the given time. Suppose that we are considering on a diagram. Here if you move from point A to point B and from point B to point C, again you are moving from point C to point A. In such cases, how will you calculate the distance traveled by it? You will add AB plus BC plus CA, and what sum you will get will be the distance traveled by the particle. and it is the path length. But now once again you will consider on the displacement. The displacement of an object in motion in a given time is defined as the change in position of the object. Change in position of the object. In the same condition, a particle is moving from point A to point B and from point B to point C. What is the change in position? The body was initially at the point A. Now the body is at C. So what is the change in position? From A to C. This distance, this line segment, the length of this line segment will be the displacement. The body has displaced through the line segment AC, and it is a straight line. It is a straight line and it has a well defined direction also. So this is known as the displacement. Now displacement is a vector quantity, students. What is displacement? Displacement is a vector quantity. The displacement of an object in motion can be positive, 0 or negative. The displacement of an object in motion can be positive, 0 or negative, but the distance will be only positive or 0. It will neither be negative, because distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Thank you, and we will meet in the next lecture.